All right, everybody, welcome back to our hotfix. We are on the second part of our broadcast, so we have a two-parter today, which is pretty exciting. So the second part is kind of a preview race, or showcase race, if you will, to kind of kick off RPG Limit Break. So for those not familiar, RPG Limit Break is a week full of speedruns that feature, as you may guess, RPGs. So it's a week straight of RPG speedruns. This is starting May 13th, which is, of course, Mother's Day for those that celebrate that holiday. So it'll be starting at May 13th, and it'll be running continuously until basically the end of May 19th, probably runs into May 20th for some of you in certain time zones. So it will be a week straight of RPGs, and they're raising money for NAMI, which is a mental health awareness charity. So it's going to be a really fun event. Super looking forward to it. It is hosted in Utah. Can't remember the exact city at the moment, but it is in Utah. So it's going to be super exciting, and we thought what better way to kind of hype it up than to showcase something you may see not may, you know, if you do happen to tune in at the proper time, you will be seeing this game, Legend of Mana, at RPG Limit Break. So we're kind of going to showcase a little bit of what to expect. So I am, of course, Darkman78, and joining me are the commentators for this race. So our two racers are going to be Striker and, okay, this is going to be hard, Quatropus. Hopefully I got that right.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. And then, of course, my commentators for today are going to be Mancat, Fitosaurus, Fitoris, and PX Micaiah. So yeah, guys, welcome. Happy to have you here. Hope you guys are excited for RPG Limit Break in this race.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Awesome. All right, so I think we are pretty much ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and kick off this race. Striker, Quatropus, are you guys ready?
Yep. Yes,
cool.
We are.
All right, so I'm going to do a countdown, and we will get this thing started. All right, so it looks like the race is beginning, so all yours.
Wait, stop.
All right. Oh, they're a bit off.
Right, he's good. They're going to be a little bit off. Striker got a little bit of lead, but...
a little bit of a lead. It shouldn't make too much of a difference later on, hopefully. So this is Legend of Mana. It is the third game of the Seiken Densetsu series by Square Enix. Oh, no, it's the fourth game, my bad. The fourth Seiken Densetsu game. You might know the previous games, Legend of Mana and Final Fantasy Adventures, I think?
Final Fantasy Adventures was the first one.
Okay, yeah, Final Fantasy Adventures, Legend of Mana, and Seiken Densetsu 3. But we got a good old minute and a half of intro here. The game plays very differently from the previous games, as you can see from the fact that there is no map. The game is pretty nice in that you build the world around you as you go along the story.
Using what the game itself calls the land make system. Basically, you're obtaining artifacts throughout the run that you will place around the map, and those both have an effect on each other and what storylines, events that you can go and access.
And you need to complete the game, you need 18 of them on the board, and you need to complete a main storyline, which there's 3 of them: Dragon, Fairy, and Jumi.
Yeah.
Racing the Dragon storyline.
The
which
Dragon
is the
storyline is the quickest and the simplest of the storyline here. So here you see Striker just equipping a couple of skills. He put in Lunge and I believe Spin?
Yeah, Spin.
Yeah, Spin. So they're talking to Sproutling here, and okay, Quad is doing the exact same skills. Talking to the Sapperling here will give you the artifact color blocks, which will spawn the first town of the game. So those skills are how you obtain STs, which are special techniques in this game, which are basically your powerful attacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can also determine what other skills you happen to go and learn as well.
Right off the bat, they're doing a little bit different builds. with Striker putting her box to the left and Quadropus putting on the bottom.
To elaborate a little bit more on the map placements, depending on where your dungeons are, because the dungeons are separate from like actual towns, depending on where your dungeons are, that's going to dictate the level of the monsters inside the dungeon, as far away I think they are from their home artifact, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
There's two things that determine the land level, which determines the enemy level. And the first one is the distance from home, and the second one is what number you place it on. So the later you place it, the stronger the enemies will be. There's specific math on it, but it's quite simple. The farther and later you place it away from home, the stronger enemies will be.
And then right now they are doing a quest line to get the first dungeon, which is Mech of Caverns. And where they place it is obviously going to differ from, because they're both doing different map placements. But
so at the beginning of the game, you only have 2 quests available, but as you complete those, more and more get added. So there's a lot of ways to go about beating this game. It'll be a bit hard to beat the game without a guide, but oh wow, they're really different right now. So Quadropus is putting Jane A further away from town.
There's begun the Lost Princess storyline now, which is, your first story in the Key Caverns.
So if you notice what Striker's doing as he's moving, the fastest form of moving in this game is never moving in a straight line. It's quite silly, but your animation when you move diagonally, or at least the startup animation, is a lot faster than actually moving forward. So by constantly interrupting your own running animation by switching directions, you go way faster than normal.
How fast exactly is it? 50%?
I've never done the math, but I imagine it's probably somewhere around there or more. As for combat, you have 2 different attacks. The weak attack, which allows you to chain them off very quickly, but does less damage. And you have the heavy attack, which is a strong strike, but you have a cooldown period. However, when you hear those beeps, that means they're canceling the strong attack cooldown animation by pressing empty special technique button. So we call this power canceling, and allows you to just chain off power attacks about as fast as you can normal attacks.
Note is the way that the combat works on this one is each time you encounter a room, a battle, it's basically treating it as like a fresh start. So even your life resets between encounters throughout the course of the game. So you're never having to heal up between battle, as each battle starts with you back at 100%. The health is represented by, the red bar, as well as the percentage above or rather to the right of the character portraits.
and then the square diamond thing, actually, it looks more like a diamond, is something called a synchro bonus, which we can get into later when it actually plays. It has some amount of relevance to the battles.
Yeah, it depends. So, Striker just did ST Striking Strike, which as you see has a charge-up period, and then it's just one big tag. We're going to be going for a move called Lunging Arc, which is a stronger ST, and also it's twice. Top of that, you saw they're doing an uppercut attack to push the boss to 8, I believe, or to gate, to the corner of the wall, so they can just keep him there, to the wall. This game has unique attacks by inputting a fighting move. So Striker just got New York there. But you can also input special attacks by using fighting game movements. To do the uppercut attack is basically just fireball movement, and that pushes the enemy away. So it's nice to get an enemy towards the wall, so it's a lot easier to just chain them. Oh, Quadropus got unlucky there, and got another attack right before death.
Which that is a little painful.
So at the end of battles or boss battles, the chest opens up and drops those gems, which is basically experience and then coins for money. When you defeat regular enemies, there are drop tables, and the higher level of the drop table, the lower chance it has. And that's going to be immediately important right now because they're going to go straight back into the cave caverns to grab a more powerful weapon than the one they're starting off with.
So Striker is going to be re-entering, or he actually did re-enter Mecha Caverns, and he's taking the lower boink to go fight 2 goblins to get either an Earth Splitter or a Black Elk, which at the current level has for either one of them, it's like 25% for Black Elk or an Earth Splitter, so altogether like 50% to get them.
Yeah, there are drops 3 and 4 on the table. So the first drop, which is usually the weakest drop, has a 50% chance, and then it's a 25% chance for the second drop, and then the third and the fourth drops each are 12.5% chance to drop. So roughly 25%. Basically, it's 25% chance that you get either one.
Run begins to become dependent on RNG, unfortunately. You have to farm for this better weapon, and it looks like Striker missed out on his first opportunity. Let's see if he can get it on the second one.
Oh, there
He
it
did
is.
get a drop.
Black Elk.
It's like... It's
So
my...
the Black Elk is a one-handed axe as opposed to the two-handed sword you're using right now, while the Earthstriker is also a two-handed axe. Oh, okay. This is a race now. Black Elk.
Octopus got it on his first try, so they're almost neck and neck at this point. Striker's just a little ahead now.
And now they're switching over to defend now that they know Lemon Card. With defend, they're going to get experience on the defense skill to start unlocking the counter abilities, which allows them to basically block an attack and swing for about 2.5 times their own damage. So it's very powerful later on. So you see the Black Elk is a much faster weapon than the two-handed sword they're using earlier. So
It looks like they
instead of
both got the Black Elk this time as well, so Octopus also got a Black Elk.
Yeah. So since the Black Elk is a much faster weapon, they're going to be also using light attacks as well as power canceling, depending on what they feel like doing. Since they're roughly the same speed now, instead of power canceling being much superior on the two-handed weapons.
To interject real quick, someone asked, never mind, someone answered in chat. I will stop on that one.
Yeah, the estimate should be somewhere around 135-ish or so. It shouldn't be too bad.
Someone in chat's asking, is like Legend of Mana side-scrolling beat 'em up? And essentially, basically, it is. It's the way that the combat in this game works, so it'd be a good, fair description of it.
Alright, so now they're going to pick up everyone's favorite side character. Piccolo, the greedy rabbit.
Make everybody happy. I don't think there's a problem with that, right?
Exactly. This is the PS1 version. They should be both playing on console.
Yeah, they are.
To note, we do have fast disk speed banned for running this game because it's really screws with the FMVs in this game, or AMVs. FMVs.
FMVs.
Especially the ending of the game.
Right, so with Niccolo and Toe, they're both off to a side event to unlock the ability to have pets. So in a moment here, we'll see Striker, where he'll go through a bit of a tutorial.
I always hated this section.
I'm terrible at trying to catch eggs, so
Yeah.
if someone can explain this significantly better, go for it.
So,
Basically-
yeah, go ahead.
Basically, what you're trying to go and do here is we're trying to go and catch, or rather, they're trying to go and catch this egg, and it's you have to lay down bait to go and catch it, but the monster egg will run away from you depending on how close you are to it. So the trick is to make it run in a certain direction and then have it pointing back and run back towards the egg. Looks like Striker got it not on his first on his second, and Quadrupus has it as well. And there'll be a little bit of a tutorial afterward, basically just explaining the way that the monster pets work, and they'll be off to their next event.
Yeah, Striker got a little too eager and didn't wait for it to start eating, so he ran into the egg. He ran into the egg while it was still walking around, causing it to run away in panic. Who's winning? Striker's head by seconds, mere seconds.
And I think, did Striker lay down the Firefly lamp before going to Domina?
Don't believe so.
Because Quatropus did.
Yeah,
He
I
laid
saw
down
that.
his. Yeah, so
Okay. They're neck and neck now.
yeah, this is definitely a race now. Oh, Quattro's pulling ahead now. Not by much, but
So the map placements are a little bit different, but it should still be fine towards the end. So another unique thing about this game is that there are land levels and there are mana levels for the lands. So each individual land has its own mana levels using the 8 elements. And whenever you place a land, it absorbs half the mana from all the lands adjacent to it, while giving those lands its own mana itself, which allow you to basically manipulate the mana on all the lands. And this affects enemies because every enemy in this game is weak to 2 elements and strong to 2 elements. So if you have more elements that they're weaker to than the elements you have stronger to, then they're weaker overall. And it's a lot of planning ahead for how do you make the map itself, and it allows for multiple different routes within the same storyline. Oh, we should probably explain storylines actually.
It would be a good thing to do.
Go ahead. All right. So this game has any requirements require you to beat one of 3 main storylines. There's the Dragon storyline, which we are doing right now as the quickest storyline, the Fairy storyline, and the Jumi storyline. So right now it's just the Dragon storyline race. At RPG Limit Break though, Quadrupus is going to be doing all main storylines, so he's going to be doing all 3 before finishing the game. So that's going to be a much longer category next week. And right now they're selling lamps to Dud Bears, which require learning the language first.
The Dud Bears have a really unique language where, well, it's primarily like 3 things that they go and say, like dub, dud, and ba. That makes up their entire language. So they go in dub, dub, dud, da 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 da, or some variant thereof.
Yeah.
and then if you gack, it's pretty much a run killer. That luckily none of the runners gack because it's just all menu input at that point. But
Yeah.
I don't know how to actually fix a gack. It just
go relearn the language and you can sell laps to them again. But here's Gilbert, the Spoony Bard. He's got a pretty poor love life, as you find out in his own individual storyline, because he has like 6 different quests throughout the game, and they're all pretty good. But fun trivia: Gilbert was the Japanese name for Edward from Final Fantasy IV, or was his previous name, or something like that. So he's a reference to him.
I was unfamiliar on that one.
Yeah, Gilbert's a reference to Edward. It's pretty good. So this is just to grab a specific artifact known as the spoon. Yeah, a spoon. You're here to get a spoon. Yeah, you're here to get a spoon, and spoon spawns the Underworld.
the Spoony Bard gives you a spoon. It makes so much sense now.
It's so appropriate.
But when they completed the beast, I forgot what monster corral, it gave them the corral at home, which allows them to get a third pet as a third-party member, and that's going to be important for the Dragon storyline because you need a third-party member to advance it.
A little bit later on in the run, but yep, that's true. So
Someone asked a question in the chat about the special moves being RNG. The special moves are learned when you have certain skills like spin, lunge, defend, those skills equipped, and then you get them after a certain amount of battles,
Yeah.
and then you'll learn that specific
you can
skill.
Yeah, for each battle you defeat, you get 1 experience toward all your skills and your weapon. For each boss battle, it's, I believe, 5? I want to say, for bosses. So when you get enough experience on your skill and the weapon, you learn the SC. It's not random, it's just really, it's never explained. That's the issue.
Right, so here, both Striker and Quattrupus are putting down the Trembling Spoon, which when spawned the Underworld, and also the Will that spawned the Highway. And the Highway is where we'll go to complete Niccolo's quest that they're currently on, Business Unusual.
Yeah, and Gilbert is a centaur. But yeah, they place the Underworld first because that's where the tougher enemies are going to be, and they place the Wheel second because that's where the weaker enemies are. So them being slightly stronger doesn't really make a difference, as they're still going to get obliterated for being a starting area.
Our first appearance of Rabbites in this game as well, although the enemy Rabbites come out as white and pink instead of the usual yellow and pink. The yellow and pink Rabbite would be the one you would have as a pet if you were to raise up a pet Rabbite to use as a partner in battle.
Yeah, that was the egg they captured for the starting tutorial. Fun trivia, but if you have a Final Fantasy VIII save, the tutorial won't be a Rabbite, but it'll instead be a Chocobo, which is always fun. Also loses time to run, so don't do it.
I happen to have a Final Fantasy VIII run saved for that.
You'll see Striker and Quattrupus do a spin move, but you'll also see that there's a ring around them, a yellow ring, which is done by doing spin and a power attack combined. And you'll still get the spin use of stopping, like stunning your enemy and knocking them unconscious for a small amount of time, but you also get to do damage in the same process.
Yeah, spin attacking. So Quattrupus just unlocked the counter attack, which he got from getting enough defending experience. So now he's going to put counter attack on there to get enough experience for counter strike, which is a stronger version of counter attack. Another fun thing is that if you equip the same skill twice, both slots get the experience. So instead of getting 1 experience per battle, you get 2. So if you want to learn a skill faster, you just equip the same one twice.
And now they're both the boss of this particular event, the Mantis Ant, which is also your first boss that you fight in Secret of Mana, the same enemy, and it's just as, well, I'd say this one is actually weaker than the one from Secret of Mana. It's really quick to go down.
Yeah, but at least this one can kill you.
Oh, technically, yeah, I guess that's true. You can't die on the first fight in Secret of Mana, can you?
Oh, Quattrupus got really good placement on Niccolo at the end of the battle.
At the end of certain boss battles, the placement of you and your NPC matter like quite significantly. The first one, Lost Princess, this one with Niccolo, Business Unusual, are 2 of those where you have to have the NPC walk to a certain position on the map. The further away they are from that position, the more time you're wasting, upwards of even like half a minute if they happen to be on the other side of the map from where they need to be placed to finish the event. So yeah, that's really good for Quattrupus. That puts him solidly in the lead at this point.
After placing some of the artifacts now, they will be going to Lumina again to pick up the reason why we did Monster Corral.
I believe
right?
they're doing a different route, so they're not going to be doing that. They're going to be picking up a different character. But right now they're placing down artifacts because there is a soft cap of 4 you can have in your inventory. So in order to get more, they need to start dumping some. But yeah, there's multiple different routes within this one storyline. You could get the and it usually just revolves around which character you get as your third partner. The one that a lot of our runners are familiar with is the Guri route, which gets a goblin from Lumina, but they're not doing that this time. Oh, never mind. Striker is going for Guri.
Yeah, I think
They're going for
Quattro.
different. They're going for different partners. Striker is going for the goblin Guri, while Quattrapus is going to go for the eggplant Mambo.
We have some. You don't technically need your third party member till one of the later quests in the Dragon storyline. The storyline that Quattrapus is starting is actually the true beginning of the Dragon storyline, the Fallen Emperor. Here we go and see that Striker has just picked up his goblin buddy Goody.
So I guess now would be a good time to start talking about the link, because that's actually relevant now.
So when you're close to either one of your allies or both your allies, the diamond next to your HP percentage has a lightning strike or lightning bolt connecting those two, and they start spinning. And pretty much each, like I think demi-human, it might actually be everything, has a different synchro bonus. And Guri does, the main thing is that Guri does a 50% increase of slash damage, and then Lark does a 50% increase of damage to dragons, which will play an important role in later boss fights.
And the one that Quattrapus is going to go for, I believe the link is it gives you a set chance of burn the enemy when you hit them, which isn't too important. But Mambo is going to be grabbed just because it's technically a faster option to get. While Guri could be faster in the long run because of the damage bonus if the AI decides to cooperate. So anyway, storyline wise, they went to the Underworld. They got kidnapped by Lark here, who is the Dragoon of Draconis, or better known by his Japanese name Tiamat, who is the same Tiamat from Seiken Densetsu 3. So nice lore there. But he basically drags you down to the Underworld, and here you get purified. You get your soul purified by the lost souls here, which basically means that you're now bonded to the Underworld. We're going to be facing everyone's favorite boss fight.
Dama. The Quattrapus is coming up on is known as very RNG heavy. We've got this little dragon skull that's floating around that we have to attack. Dragon will do as it just did there. Vanish, and then these faces will be its attack. Unfortunately, while the skull isn't there, it's impossible to deal damage to it.
Yeah, on top of that, the lower HP the boss has, the more attacks it does. So if it starts attacking at low HP, you lose more time. But yeah, the music for this game was done by Yoko Shimomura. Amazing job. You may have heard a couple of series she's worked on, Kingdom Hearts, a couple other games. Can't remember off the top of my head. But I'm pretty sure you've heard the name. Alright, so
pretty good.
Boss.
Only 2 attacks. That's a pretty good Himedama fight.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. So Quattrapus is currently slightly ahead, but that could easily change. Especially with the next
Double
map.
fighting is another really heavy RNG one, so
what Striker's doing is chaining heavy attacks into a uppercut. Which, oh wow, this is a perfect. Oh, I had to curse it.
oh, almost.
I had to curse it. It was a perfect fight until that happened. Oh, come on! This boss trolls.
Literally.
Yeah, so anyways, Quattrapus in a but thou must moment, because they're basically forcing you to work for them, or else they'll strand you in. So now you're on a quest to help Draconis kill 3 dragons.
That was such a heartbreaker.
Striker got the Himedama fight and 2 attacks as well, so they both will probably had about the same time on that fight.
No, you only control the first player. You can have a second player control your NPC partner, but that's something altogether different. Oh, right, we should talk about these monster allies they're grabbing. These monster allies all have a special requirement to unlock on the map. Not only do you have to be at a right place, but those places also need to have a certain mana level. So that's why their mana placements are different, because in order to grab Gru, you need to have max Shade on Lumina, while for Mambo here, you need to have High Salamander on Northern Peaks here. So now they're going to be catching up.
Well, for
So Quattrobus's map placement is slightly different to unlock the monster ally here.
for Guri, it's 3 Shade, 3 Dry.
Yeah, so that's why the map placements are different, because they're grabbing different allies. So anyways, now we're off on the quest to kill a bunch of dragons for one evil dragon.
First target is the Guardian of Wind.
Oh, he's such a fun dragon to fight.
Oh, I have a nice video where I spent about 4.5 minutes trying to kill him.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So Collectors did a little loop-to-loop here because AI follows your movement exactly like Final Fantasy VIII Train and tries to get Lark closer to the corner because, as you can see, he walks very slowly during the cutscene. I've also had some fun NPC moments where some of these birds will like get stuck in a corner or they'll run off in the wrong direction. It's pretty fun.
That makes for a great like scene when they're on there just scrambling, trying to get away, and just there's not.
Yeah, just runs a wall. So these egg pens are really annoying, so Collectivist just says no and blows one away. Unfortunately, the last one didn't walk into the SC.
They have the ability to both confuse and stun you, so like both are rather undesirable, but the stun is
Confusion's fine, stunning's not.
like
Confusion
one is far worse than the other.
All Confusion does is just reverse your directional inputs, so left is right, up is down.
Well, they dizzy you and stun you. So, like, you can get stun luck between the 2 status effects.
Yeah, especially with Ray that was not pretty.
I mean, the first of those guardians they encountered, the wind callers. This first one almost always gets opening special attack off, but special technique. But every once in a while you get lucky and they don't actually get that first attack off. Then after that, it's just a matter of
Just locking him down. You could interrupt the first one if you're fast enough by running into just spin range and hit him with a heavy attack there. That's just enough to interrupt him. But it's risky to go for it, because it's actually not really risky, because you're not going to lose any time for getting hit. It's just something you can go for, if you feel like it. But yeah, these 3 have erect the barrier that prevent you from getting to the top of the mountain. So now you're just going to run around killing all 3 of them.
we're supposed to go in and making short work of some more of those eggplants. Called Greek nips?
I call them turnips.
We call it like shrink nips or something like that.
Okay.
So anyways, because this one, oh, you missed it. So since this one, the fight starts when you talk to him instead of fighting when you enter the room, you can just position yourself next to him and interrupt his first spell.
Beneficial to go and push him to the right because we'll be exiting the same direction that we came in that room.
Alright, there we go. So Guri finally decided to walk right next to Striker and enable that nice 3% damage boost.
Taking down 2 of the wind callers. Striker's moving on to his second.
Sorry for the dog. There must be something happening outside.
No worries.
Chat's blowing up with a bunch of doggos, though.
Yeah, it's fine. Everybody needs some frickers once in a while. Alright, Guri. Come on, Guri. Guri's actually doing damage with this. Oh my god, Guri's attacking! What is this nonsense?
Rest of the day.
Alright, these fun monsters. I cannot remember their name.
Yeti, Wendigos or Yetis.
They had a name, I just forgot what they were called. It's been a while since I've run the game. But they're fun because they can drop gloves. And gloves are the fastest weapon in this game, but also the weakest. But they're also touching the strongest just because of how fast they attack. Fun fact, but the Japanese version and English version are very, very differently balanced. They rebalanced the heck out of this game when they ported to English. Some bosses have more HP, some bosses have less HP. A lot of weapons have their attacks change because the gloves in the Japanese version are super powerful, while in the English version they're very weak. And narcissists, that's what they are. Narcissists.
First, faster to run overall then.
The Japanese version is faster, just because. So the blackout they're using right now, I believe, is power 25 weapon, while the Earth Splitter is a 33, and the endgame weapon they're going to use, the Brave Blade, is a 35. In the Japanese version, you could get a 50 power hammer in the Underworld.
Yeah, that
So, yeah.
seems.
If you just want to farm that up, that's fine. Meanwhile, the gloves here in the Japanese version, I believe, are like 28 power. So even though they're slightly weaker than the swords, they're just so much faster. Yeah, the Doom Hammer is something in the Japanese version. It is something. They've also had a really fun and weird visual glitch while playing the PSN version. On one of the Windcaller fights, they went to Mark, used an ST, and then for some reason, he got stuck in the ST animation. Lightning kept flying out everywhere. The frame rate dropped about 3 frames a second, and that was the entire fight for me. It was weird as hell. But that's a fun way to have a run die. I don't know what happened. Never replicated it.
Let's see, version you said?
PSN version.
Wow.
PS3. Yeah, it never happened ever again. I cannot explain it.
Their ascent on Norm Peak here. Quadrupus has a couple more battles left, and then he'll be up against our next boss, the Blue Dragon.
1 second for every boss fight.
Door.
Yeah, Quadrupus is in the lead. It's not as currently ahead about 2 or 3 battles, but it's not as big as it seems because after this fight, Quadrupus is going to go straight back into Norm Peaks to go get Mambo as his partner for the next map. So it's going to be a slight bit time loss to make up for the lead here. Meanwhile, Striker already has Guri as a third ally, so he doesn't need to do that.
And even it up. I guess a lot of it depends on how this fight goes for Quadrupus.
Yeah.
Here he goes.
And we got off.
Okay.
We got to attack right off the bat.
That's unfortunate.
Now, Accurator follows it up by flying. Everyone's favorite. Oh, nice hit. Perfectly timed.
It in, so that's really good. I locked it down, but
So, a fun strategy you can try to do in this fight is Counter-Strike Accurator, which is risky, but if you get it, it does a ton of damage and speeds up this fight quite a bit.
Special.
Oh, it's the long one too. He starts using this more often the lower HP he gets.
As well, hopefully he can still get
Oh,
him
there it is.
more.
That's the finishing blow. Whoa, that was a lot weaker than expected. What happened?
Wasn't he still
And now he's flying around.
Ooh.
Yeah, I made a mistake there. I spent too much.
Oh, okay. See you another bomb. Nope. So if he ever does an attack, the one attack you want to see is the magic attack. It's
And
just
down.
one. So Striker gets a really good fight. He can catch up here. Oh, it's decent damage to start.
Generous of a beginning from our blue dragon friend.
Oh my god, yeah. Activator's not having it today. He's having none of this today. So anyways, they killed the dragon and now they're taking the mana crystal.
Also get a couple key.
Striker had the attack boost, but then Activator got pushed around. Ah, Striker's doing all these inputs shouldn't be doing. So Quantrivist is putting Vagabond down, which is the next area he needs to go to.
And Fortress.
Fortress.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they-
Activator is having none of this today.
Yeah, this is why he is everyone's second favorite fight, or first favorite, depending.
I'd go and like take Himedama any day over him.
Yeah, at least Himedama makes it faster. Oh, come on, just die! The magic pixel.
His problem.
Great boss down.
Alright. So, there we go, Mambo for Quantrivist. So now the routes are basically the same, and now you can see who's truly in the lead, which is Quantrivist at this point. Give or take about 30 seconds to lead, say?
Maybe a little bit more than that at this point.
The next quest in going to Bone Fortress is the field trip, which is like a short little quest that you have to do before you can continue on with the Dragon storyline.
Yeah.
And it involves a bunch of Magic Academy students doing essentially a field trip, and he exited the screen and went back because it sets up the right. It gives you the right ingredients you need to actually complete the quest.
So the first time you enter the map, only one of the students will give you only 3 students will give you things, and they're not the right combination. So we just enter and quickly leave, and that allows us to talk to the rest of them to get the right ones.
Still-
You have to talk to 3 specific Sproutlings here, but they move 1 student and 2 specific Saplings, but the Saplings move around, or Sproutlings, or whatever they're called. They move around, so it's kind of annoying to keep track of.
Flowerlings, yeah.
Flowerlings, yeah, there we go. Like too much Magic Gathering.
It's the boy in blue up at top. If you try to go in there the first time, he'll say that he's tired.
Yeah, they all just say they're tired, so you can't do it the first time you enter the raid.
Actually,
it's an
it's
odd
just that,
quest.
like, everybody else you can get an ingredient from. Just the boy in blue you can't. So they like intend you to fail.
Yeah, furry mosquitoes, spotted silver mushrooms, and star sparkles.
Although we have some really bad RNG coming up at this point.
Brave Blade farming.
But first you got a fun fight here against this guy. Also, some slight menuing. The menus in this game are quite slow for whatever reason. So if you go too fast on the menus, it's just not going to take your input. And you choose to leave, then you have to come back, or he won't talk to you again, and won't fight you.
To admit, his like entrance and his exit are rather awesome, coming in bit by bit.
And he starts off the fight with a nice dive kick. That's always fun. Oh, come on, Lark. What do you gotta do that? Nice counter strike, though. Yeah, you quickly learn, especially when you're running this storyline, that your NPC, your allies are much bigger hindrances than the enemies themselves. Hey, anyways, be careful. It's a trap.
They walk right into it.
Thank you, Mumble. So now you're stuck in here and you have to go grab your allies because you need them to operate the elevators. And here are these nice swords that drop a nice weapon called the Throat Slitter. It is a fairly, it is a 20 or something so power knife. Oh, it's got Brave Blade art. Right. Yeah, so they have 2 drops. One is the Brave Blade and the other one is the Throat Slitter. And every time we see the item drop in the Throat Slitter, we cry.
But Quattripus getting like great RNG on that when he got the Brave Blade first try. So
I
no
did
farming
practice
today.
earlier and I got it on.
It's a 1 in 8 chances for it to drop. And I've seen runs where they drop like 5 Throat Slitters in a row. It's annoying.
I've had those runs before. It pretty much killed any lead I had.
On the drag, let's see, the last run I did, I think I had to farm 16 times to get the Brave Blade.
Yeah,
Full
it's a rough
RNG.
life. It's a rough life. Oh wow, Momo gaining some kills.
Let's see if Striker will get the same luck.
Hopefully. So yeah, you have 2 tries before you actually have to start farming. So you have 4 chances of a 1 in 8 drop. Oh, that's
No.
weapon.
Is it? Oh, it's
Troll Slitter. Good old Troll Slitter. Speaking of,
He still
Mark,
has-
it's his sister, Zero.
On Quattripus's side, this is one of those fights that Counter-Strike plays really nicely in the
Or
speed
Momo
game.
just obliterate her.
Well, that
That was a real
Oh my god.
he did work.
He's MVP.
farming attempt for Striker here. They pay out.
Drop.
Him bag. He got it. He got it.
All right. This is a race still. Wind Slasher. Interesting. So the 2 STs they have equipped are Lunging Arc, which is a 2-hit medium damage attack, which will do massive amounts of damage to anything it hits, and Wind Slasher, which is an 8-directional beam attack. Just imagine Link's sword when he's at full hearts. But it's nice for clearing out room of mobs. So yeah, Counter-Strike is the general preferred method on how to defeat her. That's because she does regular attacks that he can counter quite often. So generally, Counter-Strikes will do good amounts of damage. All right, Deathbringer.
Here we are against the.
I believe is a reference. It's a boss reference to Saga Frontier 2. But another Easter egg in this game is that if you also have a save file you also have a Saga Frontier 2 save file, you can refight this boss and it drops the Heishin Sword, which is a very powerful sword from Saga Frontier 2. And oh wow, this is a really good fight. No attacks. I have never seen a fight go that fast against Deathbringer.
It was a really good Deathbringer fight. Moving on to like the next boss of the Bone Fortress for Quattripus here.
Yeah, Quattripus is now going to fight the dragon of the dungeon. Jajara, the Bone Dragon. Yeah, they don't really have a theme between the 3 of them. strolling around.
That
You guys
move.
can read there.
How do you slay that which is already bones?
Smash.
Bones to dust.
Nice try, Lark. Nice try. Also, Jajara can shoot laser beams because lightning beams. Alright, so that was a pretty good enough figure fight for Striker, only one attack. Meanwhile, Jadaro is having the time of his life here. And Quantum is going for a super overkill lunging arc.
And he's down.
Yeah, you can forge weapons in this game if you unlock the quest, which isn't done in this route, but you can craft some really powerful weapons.
Oh, there's actually 2 Jajara fights. This is the follow-up.
To quote Billy Mays, but wait, there's more.
Yeah,
For some reason, he values these statues as well.
yeah. Statues power them up or something.
You're an art fan, so naturally you would expect that.
I guess when you live long enough to become nothing but bones, you appreciate art. Oh, the one attack. Alright, that was a pretty good jar for Striker.
And the Quattrus just took down Jajara too.
So if you notice, if you've seen Striker's combat, you notice he's been doing a couple of different moves. Like I said before, with fighting game inputs, you could do special attacks. So there's the fireball attack, which inputs a uppercut attack, which launches the enemy backwards. There's double tap forward which does a lunging attack, and then there's a back forward, which does a jumping attack. And generally, you don't want to do any of them with Draconis because it does less damage. The only one you want to do is the uppercut attack because it pushes enemy forward. So if you want to push them forward, then that's the preferred attack. But anything else is basically just misinputs. Like you just saw the attack there.
And for anyone that doesn't know what he means by fireball, it's down to down diagonal forward and then forward in one quick movement.
I think in this game you just need down forward, but yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Levels in this game aren't really important. Whenever you level up, whenever you level up, your stats increase based on whatever weapon you have equipped. So there are ways to get max stats by controlling your level ups with certain weapons. But we generally don't care too much. Here's my favorite track in the game. I love this area. But
White Forest definitely has a great sound, or great background music.
The music in general for this game
I
is
can't remember what the
fantastic.
specific song was called, but I remember this. We're using two-handed weapons for most of the run, and that increases the power stat, I believe, which increases their slashing attacks. So it just works out. That two-handed weapons give you the most damage overall. So this is essentially the Lost Woods, and you're using Lark to smell out the path to his sister because she's the dragon of the dragon here. In general, though, just go left. That's what I do.
One or two situations where you go a different direction, but yeah, go left is definitely the best advice for this part.
Down and left. god. I'm listening to both audio feeds right now, and the time to enter, it loops so weirdly.
Will help the music track, I take it.
Yeah. So here's the Wind Slasher tag. As you can see, is just send a beam in 8 directions. So it's a bit tricky to set up, but it does massive amounts of damage as well. Wide area.
Great for taking out those pesky enemies that can
Yeah, in general, since the levels don't matter too much for your damage, after you just want the enemies to start dropping items just because they're the fastest to collect. Actually, you know, you want to drop like as little experience as possible. Items open up extra text box, but that doesn't take too much. But in general, you just don't want them dropping a ton of experience on the ground because then you have to go collect them or wait for them to disappear before the battle ends.
made it to the boss screen of the White Forest. Here, he's going to go and like lose Lark for good at this point, and we'll have to fight the last of the 3 dragons. Sierra at the same time. Geese, best dragon.
Yeah, so Buddies is like, the mana is over there because Lark says, tell us where the mana is or we're going to kill you. Buddies is just like, no, it's over there. So Lark just goes, see ya, you're done.
She still gives you a reward though.
Yeah, he gives us the reward at least. And then Buddies is just, oh god, did you name your character Oh My Dog?
It.
Oh.
With this upcoming boss fight, as Fideris said, I think I said that right, said earlier, you fight both Sierra and Vadis, and the main thing you want to do is focus on Vadis first.
I generally use Sierra to Counter-Strike to set up Counter-Strikes for Vadis for me, but it's fine, whatever you do. You want to take out Vadis first because Vadis teleports, which is generally being annoying.
Fortunately, Quadrupus looks like Sierra just won't leave him alone, going and causing some. Almost got Vadis though.
And Mamo's not helping as well. Alright, Vadis is down. But yeah, Lark just leaves you, and Vadis is like, wait, show me your strength.
Though,
So now,
getting to this point, wouldn't you have like proven your strength already, having taken out the other 2 dragons?
Yeah, it's fine. You do not want to move Vadis, because when you do, he will teleport back to the middle spot.
That's
the strikes will reset Vadis. Uppercuts will reset Vadis.
Yuri chucking his axe, which has happened to me on a multitude of occasions.
Goody's deciding to get so into this particular battle.
Yuri, what are you doing?
Case in point.
This is moving on to the final storyline in the dragon storyline, the Crimson Dragon. To begin that storyline, we have to go back to the Underworld. But this time, instead of being joined by Lark, we'll enter the Underworld with Sierra now as our ally.
Yeah.
This is also where you see Sierra be so much cooler than Lark, because Lark killed 4 wind callers not doing anything. Sierra kills 6 knights on top of her. So easily a lot better than Lark.
Yeah.
For the 2 siblings.
Sadly, Sierra is not that useful in combat. Her link is increase in defense, I believe. So
yeah, that's correct.
Oh. But yeah, Vadis is like, I'm sure you know Draconis is evil, so help me. So I want you to go there and defeat him. And that's basically it.
Yeah, and the first half of the Underworld retrip is the same as it was when we did the beginning of the dragon storyline. But once we get to the boss room where we fought Himedama, it changes a little bit, but not by much. Because
Yeah, it goes past there. It goes past there, but thankfully there's a shortcut to the bottom. And the Underworld may look like a big maze, but it's pretty easy to learn where to go.
When you're first learning the route, it's definitely an easy thing to go and make a wrong turn, as the corridors look really similar.
And the loading times every time you enter a room or something.
I remember playing this casually when I was younger and getting lost in the Underworld for a couple hours. I could not figure out how to get out.
Every time. Oh, don't worry, we hate the Himedama fight too. Everyone who's run this game hates that fight. So yeah, Quattrobus got past the Himedama room and is now on to the third level of the Underworld, I believe.
Entering the Himedama room for the second time. I'm not actually sure how it would go and work out on the map, as you're basically entering the same room 3 times.
Look, they just look the same.
It's Shrine of the Silent Faces.
The people who built the Underworld were not creative in their room design.
And then that was just the shortcut he was talking about earlier.
Yeah, Shadows just teleport you to the Underworld. Shadows are just lost souls, tricksters that try to prank everyone by sending them to the bottom of the Underworld.
So the thing about that scene, though, right before we enter this room with Draconis and Mark, you actually want to run into the room a little bit further, because if Sierra's still at the entrance, she'll walk into the room instead of running.
Yeah, NPC movement is really slow during cutscenes, so you try to have them get as close to the goal as possible. If you watch the tasks, because there is a task in this game, it does some fun stuff to get the NPCs where they want. Normally, mainly just running back and forth in line. So yeah, Draconis and Lark had a deal. Lark helps him revive Draconis, and then the two of them will fight, and whoever wins goes back to the realm of living. But since Draconis is evil, he's just like, no, you fight.
This fight can go weird as well. Like, all dragons pretty much hoping for, like, good boss pattern.
This guy I find is quite normal, quite easy. Nothing really special. You can counter-strike him, which is fun.
Generally, it goes fast enough. You don't necessarily need the counter strike, though.
Yeah, but every time he rears up, I normally just counter-strike it.
The one thing I find, the one problem I find with the Dragon storyline is...
That was a really good fight for Quattrobus. Go ahead.
That was a fantastic one. No, that's perfectly fine. Is each of the dragons, the 3 ones that you fight that move around, have the weirdest hitboxes for where you can get pushed back, and their hitboxes for being attacked are just all sorts of wonky, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The one that's coming up here is definitely the one that's got the weirdest hitbox.
The hitboxes in this game are really weird. Especially you look at the Draconis sprite. That one's just broken up to multiple chunks.
Yeah. Draconis is that boss where you can stand in the same spot and throw 2 attacks out. The first one will hit, the next one will miss.
Overall, not a fun boss.
I've gotten used to him. I've gotten some help from 2-Bit about where to stand. If he's facing a certain way, and you're standing in a certain position, you want to do like an uppercut or a spin attack.
Yeah, I generally use his hind leg as a reference to where to stand, but it's weird.
Bear almost had a fight without a ST, but he got one at the very end.
That one's really quick, though, if there's any consolation prize, but that was still a really good fight.
Yeah, not the machine gun one, at least.
Every time a boss does an ST is about 6 to 8 seconds.
Yeah, it depends on the attack. Some of them just take forever.
Yeah, there are some longer ones. I think one is like 10 seconds. I don't remember which boss it is.
I think both of
Storyline with the power of the mana that you collected for Draconis, he revives himself and brings back his castle of the flames, which, fun enough, counts as a new map as a new area on the map. So its power level is adjusted based on how many artifacts you have placed before it. Oh my god, every time.
This dungeon they're walking into is by far the biggest dungeon that you will run through. I think maybe is Mana Tree faster or longer?
No,
this is pretty.
this is longer
No.
if you count the
No.
cutscenes. No. Mana Tree is only a few minutes. This one's also... I think this one's longer just because how much falling down you have to do.
And screen transitions and everything.
Backtracking.
So much screen transactions. It's a really large castle. If you look at the map, look at the map, it's kind of confusing, actually. Hey, look, Throat Slayer. Oh, this has been a really good one for Quattrobus. First try, both drops. Which are the big one color moments, and he's had really good boss fights.
Minus the Archivator, but we don't count that one. Because that fight is pure RNG for the most part.
So there's some fun Easter eggs in this game, especially some of the names. For example, one of the ST names for the gloves is literally Fist of the North Star. And it is pretty much what you expect it to be.
You are already dead.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Omae wa mou shindeiru.
I didn't know that, but that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So the main purpose of this dungeon is you're trying to go around to either activate or deactivate, depending on how. I don't know exactly which one.
You need to defeat 3 Dragon Guardians, and then each one you defeat, each one you defeat deactivates some of those traps, depending on how many are dead.
Yeah, so Quattrobus is coming up on the first one, and the second one comes up shortly after. It's usually whenever they fall down, for the first 2 at least, it's when they fall down, they'll be in one of the trap deactivation rooms, but it's pretty
Sky
much...
Dragon.
I believe in the Japanese version, this specific dragon here has either a ton more HP or a ton less HP. I believe there's a ton less HP. It's just normal in the Japanese version, while this one they made it a sort of mini boss by giving him way too many HP bars.
He's really tanky for what he is. The dragon you fight after him, the land dragon, is a pushover by comparison.
Yeah.
They have less HP in the Japanese version.
Yeah, so they're just normal fights in Japanese version.
Yeah, so the main movement for this dungeon is going to be going to those 3 rooms that we were talking about, and then heading towards the final boss of the castle.
And the final boss is the storyline altogether.
Exactly.
Alright, so Quattro's almost to the second dragon fight.
Alright, gonna get Fury bonus here. And doing massive amounts of damage for each strike. Look at that, each one taking out 3/4 of the HP bar.
Nice.
This dragon right here, you want to shove him all the way to the right, because afterwards the cutscene with the NPCs walking the boss got stuck on top of the screen. But it's a cutscene which you have to walk all the way to the right side of the screen, and the NPCs will take forever to stroll there.
replacement for Quadrupus.
And just watch Mambo taking his time, Mamboing there.
Just give him a while.
He has no legs.
It shouldn't matter.
That should
Sure,
him
because he
having no
doesn't-
legs should move faster then, right?
And then there are fun runs because you fight so many swords in this area. Where I've gotten like 4 Great Blades just walking through this area. I'm like, come on.
That's just when you know the game is trolling you. So here we go and see Striker get better positioning on the land dragon, pushing him into the corner. This will shorten the time that it takes to open the door. Although Goody's still like walking the other way, so it's not going to be significantly faster.
And they're just running in place. That's definitely weird placement on the character and Sierra. I don't think I've ever seen them like just walk in place that close to each other.
One definitely was unique.
So there's one more guardian they have to go kill, and quite a bit of backtracking to the castle.
Running back and taking the different branch from the same point that we'd been at.
And now they're gonna go to the outside, which is where the third guardian is. And this might be like a bit familiar.
To me, at least, is different, you know.
And at least you don't have to wait for your NPC to walk to you for this fight to begin. We're just not giving a single care in the world.
Lark the Centaur. Now we go and fight this boss, Zenoa, which is reskin. The only difference is the head on the body as well. I guess some of the colors are different as well, but the attacks are identical.
Was that 2-hitter? Yeah, guess it was. They're gonna be close.
Guardian down. The path to the boss is now open for Quadrupus.
Yeah,
It's
and now he's just gonna take the other set of stairs. Much quicker.
A straight shot up.
Trying to do a diagonal movement or vertical diagonal movement. It's a lot more difficult than horizontal. It's just weird the way it feels.
Save you some time that way. Side.
But optimal movement in this game is really, really smooth. If you look at the task again, if you look at the task, the movement in there is just ridiculous. Fast and smooth everything is. Just laser in a straight line, like this, instead of the zigzag we do. Being able to change directions every single frame is pretty silly.
Oh, to have those kind of reflexes. Now, out of all the dragons, in my personal opinion, I think Draconis is the one that looks the most awesome. And here Quadrupus is beginning that fight.
One hit. That's fine. Yeah, that's a one-hitter. At least Draconis isn't invincible when he flies off, unlike Activator, so you can't hit him while he flies around. He's getting some good hits here. And now he just stunned himself for spinning. Yeah, Draconis can also be a jerk in this fight. He's the third of the jerk trio fights of Activator, Himedama. at least one, but he can still just die. Oh my god!
Oh.
Spin.
So if you haven't noticed, the downfall of doing spin repeatedly, or in enough of them in a short amount of time, is that you do knock yourself out in the process.
Yeah, and Striker here is getting trolled by hitboxes. You can see just going for attacks. It looks like it should clearly hit, but not hitting.
Draconis' hitbox, it looks like it should be really large, but he's has a surprisingly
looking
easy
at
to
it.
miss.
I think his hitbox moves when he attacks. It's actually annoying. So anyways, here's plots happening, and it's not really report it. Brewery
Oh,
getting
no.
one-shotted.
Finishing up the dragon storyline, we go and see the Underworld restored, and well, we got our little epilogue for the completion of the dragon storyline.
This epilogue is unique in the English version in that it requires you to advance 3 text boxes because they moved to a second line.
This is the only one that does it too.
Yeah, in all versions, all endings, this is the only one that requires you to actually input. And then you get about a minute restroom break.
Oh no, those were both decently good Draconis fights.
Yeah,
Hey there.
pretty good. Hey, Striker.
How's it going?
Hey, we're doing all right.
All right.
So this is the
Well,
main story.
How do you feel the run's going?
All right. Minus Activator being something.
Activator being
That
activator.
sounds like it, everyone.
The literally 1 pixel of health killed me on the inside.
Yeah, sounds like a normal run.
Pretty much.
That's why all stories is fun to learn
True.
So you get to
because
do
it turns
all-
Aggravator into a 2-hit kill.
Watch RPG Limit Break, please. Thank you.
That's a good segue. Everybody should watch RPG Limit
Yeah,
Break.
the all story run is a lot different because in that run we normally get around to blacksmithing a hammer that's about, depending on if you have a certain item that drops, it goes from 128 to 126 to 148 of damage. So like bosses like Himedama, Cravator, pretty much any boss just goes down so much easier. You don't have to worry about RNG at that point.
The
Yeah,
crafting system in this game's just completely broken. 100%.
yeah, Quattrobus will be doing all stories there. I'll be commentating there as well. So it should be a fun 5.5 hours or so.
Record
Isn't it
right
4
now
hours?
is 3:48.
Oh,
44.
never mind. I'm so
So
off
it's
on
under
the time.
4.
Okay, that's pretty good. So a good 4 hours.
One should go and check out. And you should go and check out all the runs for RPG Limit Break.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good old week of runs.
But hey, you can list specifics. Nothing wrong with that. You can play favorites. It's cool.
All right,
Go
all
for
right,
it.
all right, all right. One run that everyone should watch, and it's only 20 minutes long, so don't miss it. This is our revolution. It is a fun little quirky Japanese RPG maker game, and the best way to describe it is Snake in JRPG form.
Well, I had 3 people on the couch.
3 people on the couch. I don't even know who's joining me.
Or actually just 2. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, RPG Break is gonna be fun. So anyways, because the Dragon storyline is so short, we don't have all the artifacts required to unlock the ending of the game. So now we gotta do some more side quests, or rather just one.
Best area. I love this.
Oh yeah, the beat's pretty good. The music's
Best-
great.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
love
the music
time.
in
Let's
this
go.
This one's definitely my favorite music track of the game.
and all the crabs too.
Oh yeah. Oh, are we gonna be donating for every Krabby Squish?
I was just
no.
going to make a comment about that.
Actually, All Story doesn't do this area, so
Oh really? Lame. So when's all missions?
all events.
Yeah, all events.
Ugh. When I find 7 hours of my time.
Oh, nice avoiding the crabs there. So
Well, it gets
each crab you step on costs about half a second. Oh, you better talk to the crab at the end.
No, don't talk to the crab at the end.
I just
Yeah,
mentioned.
summertime. Right now it's nice, cloudy outside.
All right, so I suck at avoiding crabs. So I want chat to guess how many crabs I'm gonna hit while on Medora Beach. I think that'd be a fun game.
Let's go with 5.
I'm gonna
I'm
say
not-
3.
I'm not that bad.
I'm gonna go with 2.
Oh, Quantum is going full Metal Gear there.
25. Wow, no faith there.
Okay, 25 is actually intentionally stepping on every crab you see. Oh, there's one. But yeah, these enemies are so weak that you generally just very, very nearly one-shot them. So close. So close to one-shotting.
To answer the question in chat, the dragon storyline did finish with the Draconis fight, but there's still to unlock the last quest, which is Legend of Mana. You have to unlock the Cage of Dreams quest, which involves you having to complete one of the 3 main storylines: Jumi, Fairy, or Dragon, which Dragon's the one we're doing, but then also have 18 artifacts down. And as as PX said earlier, the Dragon storyline is so short it doesn't actually give you enough artifacts, so we have to do this quick side quest before we can actually get to the end of the game.
Yeah, this is just the quickest one to finish that gives you the remaining artifacts you need to finish. Also, in the room that Striker's about to head into, there's a fun crab that always gets himself stuck in the corner. I have never seen him not get stuck.
Okay,
God.
bats are the
Let's
birds.
see
of
if
this
Mamba
game.
ruins his fight.
Yeah, he does that.
The name for the boss, though, Full Metal Haggard.
Wasn't he in Secret of Mana or Densetsu 3?
Even Densetsu 3. Two hits. Yeah, that's very good.
There's
Kill.
that crab.
That was good.
Oh, that was a good fight. No STs. Yeah, no STs is a really good fight for this.
So
Generally, you want to avoid getting him low, so when we get him around half HP of the second bar, you want to just one-shot him with Legend Guard, because any lower and he'll do an ST. So if you talk to that crab right next to Quattrapus, he'll tell you how many crabs you killed, because you're a monster. And then he goes, including himself. And just washes himself.
I literally don't even need to talk to him to know how many I didn't crush.
Will you avoid that one crab that always goes to the doorway?
Yep.
Nice. Oh, yeah, he's trying to sneak up on a Striker there.
So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Striker, that was 2 crabs?
Always confirm by talking to the crab.
Now I gotta do an artifact dump.
Yeah,
Artifact
now
dump.
Quattrapus is going to be doing artifact dumping and then going back home twice. Oh,
Ooh.
didn't do enough. Oh wow, this is hiding room break. It's just ST. Oh, there's the egg.
Land right into a jump. Ouch.
Yeah, and then the eye broke right afterwards. So that is especially bad, 'cause I've never seen him do that bubble attack before.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that move ever.
Alright, GDQ, cursing run still.
Anyway, two
Never
crabs. Not bad.
Yeah, that's about that's about average, normal. 2, 3.
I'm sad this one never goes to Geo because I thoroughly enjoy that music.
Junior, I do thoroughly go through Geo a lot. So anyways, you're gonna go home, and then when you leave home, the game checks if you have enough artifacts and the storyline finished, as referenced by the mana tree that's growing in the corner of the screen there. And that's gonna be full, so now it says that the end of the game is now unlocked. So now you just go back home.
Sproutling hurdles.
It's a nice
go
fun
indulge a
Easter egg at the
bunch of
beginning of the
Sproutlings.
game. The Sproutling there will give you the color blocks to place down Domina, but you could refuse. You could like try to leave, and if you try to leave enough times, it just it gives you the color blocks. Fun Easter egg. It costs time, but it's funny. He's like, stop ignoring me.
Good sprout.
So now we're getting also sorcerers, which is a mission from the very beginning of the game, to get 2 fun NPCs. I can't
We'll never
remember the
complete that
names.
storyline, so no worries.
If I say yes here, I'm gonna be so mad.
It's making it a close race.
No, actually, he would bump up ahead.
This room is what I call my Technicolor fever dream, because you're talking to a stained glass and a man riding a floating tapir.
All right. So he asked you if you want to join on this conversation. You just say no, and then come back, and they're done.
Yeah, when a fun little movement tip is that when the screen's fading in from going from the workshop to here, you can hold left and you'll be running while it's fading in just to save a small amount of time.
Definitely save like a couple seconds. That's helpful to say the least. So the rooms in this particular like dungeon has some great names, like the Entrapment of Love, Knowledge and Pitfall.
I especially love when exiting the screen down left, you enter from the top left corner. Weird, makes no sense.
Again.
This is a fun little fight in this area. Roll them all up to avoid any issues with it, because they're annoying enemies.
And with that, Quadrupus is at the end of that particular short little storyline, The Will to Trust.
Yep. And then the Sproutling just decides to become the tree of mana, the sort of mana.
And Mambo taking his sweet time to get to the NPC.
Look,
Here.
man, when a predator stalks its prey, you take your time.
Oh my dog, take this.
Sword of Mana. Prowling is necessarily doing this willingly. He seems kind of surprised at the tree growing out of his head.
Oh my god, stop doing that. Oh, one of them dodged the wind slasher. Yeah, that's the problem with the wind slasher, and that it's only 8 directions instead of a circle.
Artifact placed. The Sword of Mana, which gives us access to the Tree of Mana. Within our
There's actually
final...
a lot of deep lore in this game. Like, there's ancient war that caused the fall of mana and the rise of mana, and there's a lot of lore in here, and it makes up the story, the characters and the stories. I don't know where you can find it, but quite fun to read. Oh, and then here's some great soundtrack, the Mana Tree.
Final story event, the titular Legend of Mana.
Doesn't the Sword of Mana give all surrounding artifacts max?
It contains max mana of everything. But yeah, it maxes out mana on whatever you place next to. So now you're climbing up the tree of mana, which is fun because whenever you enter and exit the tree, like the camera changes directions, so it can get confusing.
Always accidentally running back inside the tree because you're holding the wrong direction.
Every time. So
It's usually, that's the way my runs usually go. I'm going to be fighting some enemies that we've seen before, the Sky Dragon and the Land Dragon, this time with significantly less health, though.
They're just normal enemies this time. Albeit higher level. I leave all the enemies in this area like level 30 or so. You can check enemy levels on the pause screen, but you're never going to see it because pausing is slow.
The enemies as well, which, you know, for some of them is kind of fun.
Oh yeah, and enemy names. So there's one boss fight left, but the boss fight can still determine who wins. So this is still a race. Striker's only about a minute behind, but that can easily be caught up. So sit back and enjoy the music as we climb the tree here. Oh, and I have a black chocobo. Just because you need to know that this game is made by Square.
Alright, so we're coming up on the final 4 sets of battles on Quadrupus's side before the final boss. To the Sanctuary of Mana, we just have to go around and take out the remaining fights before being teleported to the final boss.
And the easiest way to kind of discern which direction to go is you kind of just pick a direction and you keep going that same direction until you hit a battle and then pick another direction.
Yeah, this end area is a 3x3 grid, essentially, and you have to hit the 4 corners and fight 4 guardians to go to the Sanctuary of Mana or something like that. Symbolic.
Some arbitrary RPG wait time.
Yeah, just pretend it's a baseball field. Gotta go all 4 bases.
It's a very good analogy for it.
That is really good, actually.
First base, then.
Yeah, the directions you actually do take do actually match up with the baseball field. Yeah. Well.
Basilisk is being really annoying.
Yeah, that's one of our fun enemies. Just like the Mambo here. He's another fun one you're gonna see in a bit. And here's the
second base.
Dragon. Triple Dragon. This is always a fun one. Oh, nice. Triple Wind Slasher hit. Oh, and Mambo Leak for the fire burn! Oh, Striker's getting trolled by the tree. Not good.
And Quadrupus slides into third base.
Get that triple. Come on, Mambo, you can do it. Mambo wanted
Quite
none of
take him
this.
out. 4 battles taken care of. We're suddenly warped.
Here we fight the Mana Goddess herself.
Little monologue first, though.
Yeah. This is the final fight. Time will be coming up on the final when her HP bar hits 0.
Every good villain needs to have a good monologue.
Alright, that was a pretty good win slasher on Striker. But here we got the Mana Goddess fight. So the Mana Goddess is going to be doing a step which moves her a certain distance, and then if she's in front of you, she will usually do an attack that is counterable. And then occasionally she'll decide to do an ST, which costs quite a bit of time, depending on which one she uses. Here's the Mega Gigatron, Gravitron attack here. Pretty easy to dodge. Missed the first hit on lunging arc here, so that's only giving me 1 hit, but it's still quite a massive amount of damage. Having the goddess stuck against the wall is not ideal, just because your attacks have a tendency to miss when it happens. Oh, and she's definitely twirling around here. Mambo!
Time.
And that's it, yep. Winner of the race is Quattrobus, but we still got Striker with the Mana Goddess fight here.
Yeah, for the most part, like positioning with the Mana Goddess is you want to try to line your player character's feet up with her feet, which I guess that's what I've read. And it helps out with hitting your counter strikes.
Yeah,
I always forget to walk forward.
Yeah, you don't want to be too far away because her attack range is slightly longer than yours.
I guess the one upside with Counter Strike is that it stays out for so like the active box for it stays out a while. I've had her
Yeah.
Counter Strike
Walk into
or
it.
I've Counter Strike something, she backstepped and she just walked back into it.
Yeah, the lingering hitbox is always fun.
And there's also a thing where if you're standing in the wrong spot and she does her little force blast thing, your counter strike acts like a guard instead.
Oh man, these troll hitboxes just whiffing. Oh, here's the Mega Gravity Ball. And Grury's dead.
Yeah, I was like, Guri, no.
Oh, if you're not careful, she can kill you in this fight.
And time.
Alright, that's it.
Separated by a minute and 21 seconds, it looks like. Pretty good race.
Yeah, that's a pretty good race, honestly.
Even with like that was a fantastic race with both of them having really bad Archivator luck.
Yep, I'd say so.
Yeah, shows
yeah,
off how close this game is, even with different routes and everything.
That boss is
We can't agree on which one is the fastest.
There's just so much RNG, so it's like at this point it's hard to tell what works faster than something else. Because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I think this will be faster, but I have to also keep in mind Axe Drop, Brave Blade Drop, Kravator, Himedama, and whatever else. It just gets like it gets difficult to figure out what works faster.
And then map placements, which one is slightly faster? Is it worth the speed for? It's just yeah. There's so
There's
many
one-
things that go into running this game.
There's one cool thing here, the credits. I think it's just like bad programming or something. There's like a specific Sproutling that just keeps walking into a wall, and then on the next screen, he's doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And I'll point it out when it comes to it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we get to enjoy the wonderful, wonderful ending, Legend of Mana, sung by a Swedish singer.
The ending like track is definitely beautiful.
Yep, Yoko Shimomura got a Swedish song as the ending. It's something.
Here we go. He's in the top right corner here, just walking right into a wall, and just look at the next screen transition in that same area.
There he is. I never noticed that until you pointed out the first time we did the race, a four-way race. That was fun. Sorry, just want to watch.
Well, definitely great run for both of you. That was very enjoyable to watch.
Cravator could have been better, but luckily, when All Stories is ran Thursday at 11:10 p.m. GMT, I will have a lot stronger weapon, and the Cravator won't be a problem.
And you will also get to see the Jumi storyline and the Fairy storyline.
Yeah, those are better storylines in terms of story as well as as well as things happening. Dragon storylines is straightforward. Go here, kill this. Next.
All right. Well, any final thoughts, commentators, runners? Thoughts on this race? Thoughts on RPG Limit Break?
Watch RPG Limit Break.
Yeah, definitely watch
Definitely.
RPG Limit Break.
That's about it.
Cool.
But also enjoy the song.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it's gonna go on for about 5 more minutes.
I don't think we're gonna play for 5 minutes though.
Unless my game locks up, which has happened before.
All right, you're not a fast Disney, right? So we don't just skip the credits.
No, yeah, we don't do that.
I think we're gonna go ahead and say we listen to the song for a little bit, so we'll go to a wrap. Once again, thank you so much to our commentators, Mancat, Fideris, and PX Micaiah, and to our racers, Quatropus, the winner, and Striker, who was just behind him in second place. So that was Legend of Mana, Beat Dragoon's Dragon storyline. So as they were mentioning, they are going to be playing this game at RPG Limit Break, but it'll be a different category, the all storylines category. So definitely check out RPG Limit Break. Once again, RPG Limit Break is a speedrunning marathon focused on RPGs. So that'll be taking place starting next week, May 13th. That is Mother's Day, for those aware. So it starts May 13th, ends May 20th. Basically, like in the very early morning, May 20th. So week-long action. It's going to be in Utah, and they are raising money for NAMI, fantastic charity, helps out with mental health awareness. So a great cause, great event. You guys should definitely check them out if you have the opportunity to. And on that note, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us for this broadcast. And before we go, we have to rate somebody. So what more fitting than to raid a fellow RPG Limit Break runner? So we're going to be raiding Drifting Skies, who is currently practicing Legend of Elgaia, which is in RPG Limit Break. So check him out. And that's going to do it for us. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week for another hotfix.